I keep the lights on when I leave, just in case you wanna see me. Come over, I'm on one, not sober, I'm on one.
Matthew Stafford is a top 6 quarterback in the league. What has he done besides throw jump balls to Calvin Johnson? What has he done? He's got a new uniform now? So they're going to put him at number 8? Matthew Stafford out the list. Just take him out the list and you can throw Kirk Cousins there. Even at number 10. I'd still put him above. No, I'll leave him at number 10.
You walk in, you're going to sit here and tell me you pick Kirk Cousins over Matthew Stafford to come out of the goddamn tunnel with you, Borba? Are we being serious?
Yeah, dude. Matthew Stafford hasn't really beat.
That's like that Max Killer
Vikings like twice.
Matthew Stafford has kept an entire organization from being sold out of Detroit. The city of Detroit lives on Matthew Stafford. They eat because of Matthew Stafford. They still have the lion as a logo because of Matthew Stafford. That's the slander that you're putting on him, Borba, just to defend Kirk Cousins? What are we doing?
No.
Can't make me miss her, no way. Can't make me miss her, no way. Can't make me miss her, no way. I keep the lights on when I leave, just in case you wanna see me. Come over, I'm on one, not sober, I'm on one. Get closer, I'm on one. I keep the lights on when I leave, just in case you wanna see me. Come over, I'm on one, not sober, I'm on one. Get closer, I'm on one, yeah.
Good morning. It's 10 o'clock, or it's 9:57 on this beautiful Sunday. Well, unfortunately, it seems like John Anthony Borba will not be joining me this morning. I don't know what the reason for it is, but I can take a wild guess. There's this thing called fear. Every now and then, everybody feels it. It doesn't matter if it's if you're afraid of, let's say, for example, Halloween, right? Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. So let's just say fear, right? Fear from Halloween, from creatures, from animals, or if a dog's loose, you might be scared. In this case, I think Borba he's got a sense of fear, regardless of whether Dak Prescott plays today or not. He senses some type of fear because it's 3-3 Vikings Dallas is heading over to Minneapolis to possibly smash some watermelons. And when I say watermelons, I mean heads by Dalvin Cook or Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen. Someone is going to get smashed today. And it could potentially be Kirk Cousins, the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, the guy who has been criticized for not showing up to any primetime games. Very few primetime games. But if, as Borba would say, Kirk Cousins is clutch, and we have to respect this man because in Borba's eyes, he believes that he's a top 5 quarterback. Well, actually, he said top 6 quarterback. But whenever you say top 6, normally it's like top 5, top 10, top 15, or top 25, or top 50. But whenever you say top 6, you're normally saying, or you're basically saying, that he is number 6, right? That is what we're saying here. So Borba's scared. I think he's scared. I think he's nervous, even without Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott was playing, which as of right now, it's super questionable. They're leaning towards him not playing. Cooper Rush is the one that they prepared as if Cooper Rush is going to be the quarterback. So here in a bit, I'm going to get what Jay Tuck from a gentleman that I met on Twitter who has a Cowboys page, and it's everything Cowboys, if you want to check them out on Twitter or YouTube. So let's move on from that Cowboy talk, though. And then we'll get back to it here in a second whenever he joins, and we'll check him out. CowboyFansOnly.com is where you can check out his stuff. So let's go here. Let's talk about Thursday's game real quick. Were we impressed with the way the Packers won that game, or were we disappointed by Arizona? What did we see there? I think what we saw there was just a good playoff game. But what I've been saying about Arizona, and I think it kind of showed it just a little bit, even though they could have won the game there at the end. But my point is with Arizona is that when the game does slow down, what are we going to see from this offense? And it got real stagnant there. It was hard for them to move the ball, especially. But what was questionable was that Green Bay was also, I mean, it's missing Jair Alexander, right? One of the best cornerbacks in the league. I mean, possibly the best cornerback in the league, depending on who you ask or who's making the argument. But he's definitely up there. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. They didn't have Zadarius Smith. They're one of their best pass rushers. So I was a little disappointed with Arizona not being able to move the ball very well. Of course, next man up mentality. I think with that next man up mentality is only valid whenever you have legitimate talent on your team. That next man up mentality doesn't always necessarily work whenever you have a team that's not very good, obviously, right? So, anyways, I like the way Aaron Rodgers played that game, and I think Patrick Mahomes should take a little bit to take some notes and kind of look at that game and see the way they played it, because that's what Kansas City needs to do right now. They got to slow the pace down and they got to grind it out. They got to grind games out by having a running game. And right now, everybody's pointing the finger at everybody else but Patrick Mahomes, saying they don't have a running game. Clyde Helaire is one of the. I mean, I know it's only his second season, but he's definitely a top back in the league. You got to make that argument, right? Not necessarily top 10, but he's a good running back. So I think discrediting the running back position in Kansas City is invalid. What are we doing? I mean, it's we all know what the hell the problem is in Kansas City, and that's the goddamn defense and Patrick Mahomes trying to do too much. Slow the game down. Take some notes from Aaron Rodgers and the Packers on Thursday night, and do something like that. It's gonna be a boring ass game. It's not gonna be fun. It's not what you're normally used to. It's not you throwing 80-yard passes to Tyreek Hill, but that's how you're gonna win games, and that's the way you're gonna turn this around. And it starts on Monday with the New York Giants. You got to get some momentum and get the ball moving. That's what Kansas City's got to do. But definitely impressed with the Packers. That was a hell of a win there. Next one, let's go to this next one here. Let's talk about the Browns and Steelers. Yes, Browns and Steelers. What a hell of a game, rivalry matchup here at 11 o'clock. It's Baker Mayfield is going to play. Odell Beckham was questionable, more than likely going to play. Cleveland's a favorite here at -4.5 this morning, which is, I think it's legitimate. I think the Browns have a real chance to go out there, and it's in Cleveland, so it's a little chilly. I think both teams are used to the chill. You know, you got the little cold effects from the lake there in Cleveland. Cleveland's beautiful. Cleveland's cool. I just went there, and they love Baker Mayfield. I really don't understand why or how or what. But they love Baker Mayfield, and they believe that this guy could get them to the promised lands, and that's good. That's good. They need to have that confidence in that guy. But the thing is I mean, even they know that he's not the reason they're going to get there. It's going to be because of that running game, and they got to stick to it. And all Baker Mayfield's got to do is complete about 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 really good passes. That's all we need from you, Baker. That's it. And the dog pound's going to be rocking, going to be barking. Logan Raider's getting all hyped up, rattled up, excited this morning. I already saw pictures and photos of them drinking. It's never too early to start drinking when your team plays at 11 o'clock, which I will be drinking early, super early, real early whenever I go see the Atlanta Falcons versus Dallas Cowboys in about 3 weeks. And I hope Dak Prescott plays, because if he doesn't, I'm going to be super sad. I'm going to be emotional about it. I'm going to be hurt, but I still will cheer my team on. That's what we're going to do. So Borba just hit me up. I got wasted, laugh out loud. Let's do it later. We're doing it now. It's a pre-game show. That means it's a before the actual games begin, right? I think. So, anyways, I lost where I was going here. Man, this might be the worst show that I have in a long time. And I normally feel like I bring the energy, and normally I feel like I'm excited. Shit, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Let me get J Tuck on here. Damn it. All right, man. But anyway, so I think the Browns are going to pull it off today, though. What the Steelers got to do, I think the reason that they're such underdogs is because Big Ben. I mean, I think there's still a question mark on that offensive line of Big Ben. Can Big Ben be consistent getting the ball down the field, right? And if he can, I mean, they can definitely win this game. They got weapons. They got Najee. Give Najee the ball. And Najee is one of the top. He's going to be one of the top backs in the league as long as they utilize him correctly. That offensive line is bad. What's the question mark there? Why did they get one that retired? Why did one leave? Was it Big Ben? Did they feel like the Steelers team was doomed? There's a lot of question marks out there in Pittsburgh, and it's going to be hard to figure out. But it does feel like there's a shift in how that division is going to be rolling out here pretty soon because the Bengals are leading it. Are the Bengals legit? Are the Bengals for real? As of right now, I got to say they are. We have to say they are. Joey Burrow is bringing in a different mentality into that locker room, and it's beautiful to see. And we're seeing him and Jamar Chase with the connection of the two. I mean, they're looking incredible right now. I mean, rookie of the year, right? Jamar Chase, potentially comeback player of the year in Joey Burrow. I mean, that dynamic duo there is giving that city life. Not only that city, but that offensive line, because there was a lot of question marks around that offensive line. Can they protect Joey Burrow? Is Joey Burrow going to be running for his life every time he gets the ball? And we do see little glimpses of him running for his life, but he finds a way to get shit done. And for that reason, you have to respect this Cincinnati team. And that defense, guys, that defense is legit. It's legit. Once Joey gives them a little bit of confidence to that team, it's going to be hard to stop them. And, I mean, we're going to see them win yet again today, I think. Is Carson Wentz all the way back? Is Carson Wentz all the way back? Good question. Is Carson Wentz all the way back? Carson Wentz, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I don't think so. I'm going to say no. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go here real quick.
Hello, everybody. Isabel Vargas, sales manager here at Tate Branch of Roswell. We're at 2000 West 2nd Street. Let me introduce you to my crew.
Hey, guys. What's up? Runda here, down here at Tate Branch Roswell. Senior sales consultant with the Auto Group. Go ahead and give me a call as soon as you guys get a chance. 575-317-0872.
Hey guys, Shane Lincheski, the sales professional down at Tate Branch in Roswell, New Mexico. Give me a call today at 575-703-3045 and let's get you started.
Hey guys, your friend Bella here at Tate Branch in Roswell. I'm a sales rep here. You know, we have great inventory going on. Come see us, 2000 West 2nd Street in Roswell, New Mexico, or you could call me on my cell phone, 575-420-5129.
Hello, Roswell and surrounding community. Lico Renteria, Tate Branch, Roswell. Finance Manager, 214-325-2662.
And now that you met the Tate Branch Roswell family, come down and be a part of it, where we will work hard for you. And don't forget, hablamos español. Please visit our website, www.tatebranchroswell.com, or come visit us at 2000 West 2nd Street. Or you can give us a call, 575-755-2279.
Appreciate you guys grinding with me there for that little moment of pause. Baker Mayfield is right now speaking, or he wasn't speaking. He was speaking before. He woke up feeling a little dangerous. He's a little excited. He may go down there in Cleveland and just put a smack right on Big Ben's face. And I'm excited to see it. I feel bad for this. This squad here. All right, here we go. We got Jay Tuck joining the show. Let me get him here on the screen. Yo, Jay Tuck, man. Jay Tuck 151 on Twitter if you want to check him out. Also, CowboysFansOnly.com. Your boy is rocking on YouTube. He's got that energy, and he always brings energy, man. So,
yeah, man.
I appreciate you coming on. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me, man. What's up, Cowboys Nation?
Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, all right, bro. Let's talk about the Cowboys real quick before I get your predictions on any other game. So right now, Dak Prescott is still questionable, but it's Adam Schefter did report that they are going into this game as if Cooper Rush is going to start. How do you feel? For one, how do you feel if Dak isn't playing? And then two, do you think he is going to play, or this is kind of just them gassing us up?
I think it changes the dynamic of the game if Dak doesn't play, right? I mean, as from Cowboys fan standpoint, we need Dak Prescott out there to win this game. And what people have to understand is last season, right, when we played the Vikings, Dak Prescott was out, okay. But we had Andy Dalton, who had years of experience as a starting quarterback in the NFL to hold the ship. And to be honest with you, last year was the first time as a Cowboys fan, we really felt confident in our backup quarterback when it comes to that position. This year, Cooper Rush isn't it. So I know a lot of Cowboys fans been arguing like we can still get it done. Now, can we still win this game if Cooper Rush is our starting quarterback? Yeah, things happen in the NFL any given Sunday, but our chances diminish greatly if Dak Prescott is not out there and Cooper Rush is our starting quarterback, because from the Viking standpoint, it changes your game plan. They're going to take away Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to take away Tony Pollard and force Cooper Rush to beat them. And what we also have to be considerate of is that even though Terrence Steele has looked decent thus far, Dak Prescott hides a lot of mistakes with this offense. And so just a half second of Cooper Rush holding the ball, being indecisive, could lead to fumbles, could lead to turnovers, and a whole bunch of different things. And so me personally, I would like to see Dak Prescott out there. From the people that I've spoken to last night, it sounds like Dak is going to try to give it a go, but it's hard to gauge it, man, because you think about it from a calf strains perspective. I had it just a few months ago, right? You just never really know when you're fully recovered until you fully test it. So knowing the competitor that Dak is, I think he's going to want to be out there on the field tonight. But if he shows any drawbacks or any laboring this issue, I think the Cowboys are going to protect Dak from himself and be like, all right, shut it down. We'll just start Cooper Rush. So it remains to be unseen. But like everyone is saying, it'll be a game time surprise, man.
What side of the ball are you on here? Are you pro Dak, sitting Dak, and then resting that leg for another week? Or is this a game where you think we need to go ahead and win it against a high-powered offense like Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm from the mindset I'm playing every game on a week-by-week basis. I'm going to win. So, I know a lot of people are thinking we could rest Dak. Now, if you were to say that Dak is laboring this issue and it could prolong throughout the season, then okay, you might want to monitor it closely. But if Dak is saying I'm okay to go, you can't play scary football, man. You got to just put players out there and try to win each game, because trying to be strategic, like, oh, we can lose this game, but we could win next week versus the Broncos. Like, you never know in the NFL. Like, one little thing throughout your season can disrupt your momentum. And right now, the Cowboys have a lot of momentum. Why disrupt it? So I'm a fan of keeping Dak out there if he's able to play.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I'm hoping he does play. I feel a little bit selfish the fact that I don't want him to play, only because I am going to the
Broncos
Atlanta game.
Me too.
So here in 2 weeks. So I'm kind of like, man, if he does restrain it, it's going to suck, because he's probably going to be out for about 2 or 3 weeks at that point. And right. I think that's where a lot of us get scared, right? We get a little nervous because this injury could turn from just this week to 2, 3, 4, 5 games down the road.
Right.
And at that point, with our division, you really never know, because our division does stink, but at times they do pull games off, right?
Right.
So
and we got to also think about it, man. Like, as a selfish Cowboys fan, I'm in that same predicament, because I'm like, I'd rather see Dak next weekend versus Atlanta and versus the Chiefs versus the Vikings, which we're not going to be at that game. But from a winning perspective, we need Dak out there. But I think this is a problem. The Cowboys have forced us into this situation where we don't have a competent backup quarterback. We saw what happened throughout the preseason when it was not Andy Dalton, but it was Garrett Gilbert. You also had Ben DiNucci, and you had Cooper Rush. Like, none of them looked like, okay, if something was to happen just, for a few weeks, they can keep things afloat. And so it's like, now with Cooper Rush back there, I understand Cowboys' concern, but it would be nice if we did have someone of Andy Dalton's caliber to back up Dak and say, okay, if he does have to miss 2 to 3 weeks, everything will be okay, right? Long term, like last year, absolutely not. But 2 to 3 games, Andy Dalton could have got us that. But right now, we're in a situation where, hell, Cooper Rush and me and you have the same amount of NFL starts. So,
Do you think this is like Dallas didn't go in the offseason to grab someone like an Andy Dalton to bring in the offseason because they didn't want to make it a threat to Dak? Or do you just think they really do feel like we have a guy at the backup position right now?
How much money did Dak just get paid this season? There's no threat. there's no threat, man. Yeah. And I think that's what people don't understand, because a lot of people are harping on my Cam Newton situation. Like, let's bring in Cam Newton, right? What you have to understand, the dynamic in Dallas is different from other teams. And I don't follow other teams that closely and know about their locker room, right? But in Dallas, we all know that Dak Prescott is our quarterback. He is our leader. And so it's easier to have an Andy Dalton or a Gardner Minshew or one of those players know, I'm not taking over this locker room. I'm not taking over this team. Dak is the guy. I just got to do my role. But at least you have someone who's competent back there that, I mean, we play sports, man. We all know probably what Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are probably saying at the dinner table, like, bro, we got to go out there and play with Cooper Rush. Like, it's going, so it's like, Of course, publicly, they're going to be like, oh, we believe in Cooper. He had a great practice, but they're probably like, man, this is going to be some bull.
They know exactly what's what's coming.
Exactly. So that diminishes your morale. And so if you had a player of Andy Dalton stature or also Cam Newton stature, like, all right, confident. They're not Dak, but things are going to be able to stay afloat. But, I guess we're going to have to close our eyes and, wish Cooper Rush the best.
Let's assume that Dak plays today. Okay, that's the impression that we're under right now. We're going to assume that Dak's going to feel good here at warm-up. The leg's going to feel great. It's going to look great. He's going to be moving well. So we're assuming he's going to play. With that being said, do you think Dallas wins this game with Dak Prescott on the field? Easily?
No, not easily. Even at full strength, Dak Prescott, no calf, I didn't have the Cowboys winning this game easily. And the reason for that is I feel like this is going to be the Cowboys' toughest matchup since week 1. And the reason why is they're more balanced, right? We kind of saw hints of it 2 weeks ago when we played the Patriots about being able to be tested by land and also by air, right? Bill Belichick was establishing the run game, but also Mac Jones was allowed to kind of get into a rhythm as well. So I feel like that's going to be the same blueprint for this game tonight when we're playing the Vikings. They have Madison, they have Dalvin Cook, they also have Adam Thielen, they have Jefferson. And so it's going to kind of keep our defense off balance because as Cowboys fans, we just assume things haven't been as bad as last year, so our defense has improved, right? We're getting turnovers, our defense has improved. But we really don't know, has our run defense improved from last year? We just haven't played anybody who's really tested us in the run game. We got lucky versus the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey was out, Saquon was out, and so we had, Damian Harris, last or 2 weeks ago. But now you are going to get a top elite running back in a running game coming down your throat. And what does that do for your coverage? How does Dan Quinn adjust really remains to be unseen. So I feel like even if Dak was full strength, this is going to be one of the Cowboys' toughest matchups. I didn't have us landsliding this game tonight by any means.
So I did see Dallas does run man. I mean, we run man majority of the game, about 80 to 90% of the game. Kirk Cousins is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league when it comes to man defense. Are you more afraid of Kirk Cousins having a big game or Dalvin Cook going on?
I think it's a combination of both. I think the head starts with Dalvin Cook. I think once Dalvin Cook and Madison get going, it allows Kirk to get in the rhythm. He's able to roll outside the pocket with the bootleg. He's able, so what we need to do is really make them one-dimensional. And the way that we're going to do that is put points up on the board at a rapid pace. Now, how do we do that if Dak Prescott's not out there? I don't know. It remains to be unseen. But, making them play from behind and trail where they have to drop back and become one-dimensional in the passing game and allow our edge rushers to get pressure. I think Dorrance Armstrong's going to be back. You have Randy Gregory, Micah Parsons, some of those guys. And so if you're able to get pressure on Kirk Cousins, we know that he'll cough the ball up and will give us turnovers. But if you allow, Cook to get in motion, start getting quick pickups in the flat in the passing game and the run game, it's going to open up so much for Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins is playing at a decent level this season. I know we're so accustomed to what we saw in Washington, but he's playing decent this season. They just had some tough losses, but they've been competitive in those losses. They just don't have a damn kicker. Yeah. And so I think that's their big issue, but they compete. They do have talent. They remind me a lot of us. Like you're just kind of one-sided with this high-powered kind of offense and your defense is kind of but I feel like if they're able to compete at a high level and stay balanced, it's going to be a close game, and that's with Dak out there.
Yeah, offensively, we're literally looking ourselves in the mirror. I was telling my friend who didn't show up today, he's my co-host, John Borba, who he's a huge Viking fan. So I was excited for you guys to have some back and forth here. But anyways, I don't what scares me, I guess, or not scares me, but what makes me nervous is we are looking at our own reflection. I think the only difference there is when you start comparing Dak to Kirk Cousins, right? I think me personally, and I think in a lot of people's eyes, Dak Prescott is a lot levels to it, right?
Mhm.
From him and Kirk Cousins. I think there's a huge gap there. I mean, most people, Viking fans, are going to disagree with this, right? Because they still think Kirk Cousins is the guy. I don't think he's the guy. The only way they're going to get anywhere really is if they continue to run the ball and it's effective. Once you slow that down, like you said, and you kind of force Kirk Cousins to throw the ball where running's not an option because they're playing from behind. I think, like you said, I agree with you 100%. That's the only way. Or I think that's the way we do win this game is forcing them to play from behind and making Kirk Cousins throw the ball, essentially.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying. The Vikings are the first team that can give us a taste of our own medicine, right? They can run it, and I kind of give it like the Burger King approach, right? When it comes to the Cowboys offense, you can have it your way. Like, do you want me to put 40 points up and air you out for 500 yards, or do you want me to run it down your throat? Like, pick your poison. But I feel like the Vikings can also do that to us as well. Like, they could sit back and drop back and air things out with Thielen and Jefferson and have a big day. Or they can say, you know what, we're going to give Dalvin Cook the ball 25 times, give Madison the ball, 15 times, and run it down your throat. So it's going to be a conflict of interest when it really comes to this defense versus their offense, but their defense versus our offense as well. But that's assuming that we do have Dak Prescott still out there, man, because think of it from this situation. If we are going through a situation like we had versus the Patriots, right, and we're down by 4, it's the fourth quarter, we get the ball back finally, do we think that, oh, man, Cooper Rush is going to drive us down in overtime and seal it? Like, it's not going to happen. And so it's like not having Dak Prescott out there, it changes a lot. Like, I kind of call Dak the Instagram filter, man. Like, he makes a decent team look amazing when he applies that filter on when you have Dak Prescott because – he makes things look a lot better. Your offensive line, how poorly your center is playing. You have a backup right tackle that everyone's thinking is playing. No, that's Dak Prescott, the filter, making everything look gorgeous out there. But if you take that away, hold on tight, Cowboys.
Let's stay on this Cowboy topic real quick. Let's talk. I want to know what you think about our defense. Are you excited about like DeMarcus Lawrence coming back? And then most importantly, for me, I can't stand Micah Parsons seems to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback when he does rush, but it seems like we hold him back and we make him play coverage. Do you feel like we should put him on the defensive line more or just be more aggressive with them? Or are you okay with him playing protection more?
Absolutely, man. I am the conductor of the Micah Parsons back to edge rusher train, man, because it's day and night. And going back into the draft, like I liked a lot of things about Micah Parsons. And my one analysis that I said on him, he is going to have to develop into a middle linebacker. He's going to grow into that. It might be 3 years where he's like, all right, now he's an all-pro middle linebacker. Okay, kudos to that pick. But if you want an absolute disruptive war daddy today, right now, Sunday night, you put him on that edge and have him and Randy Gregory hauling after Kirk Cousins to create that pressure. Because what they're able to do is when you have Micah Parsons as the middle linebacker, of course, Dan Quinn likes to blitz up the A gap, which is right over the center, with Micah Parsons. But when he's dropping back in coverage, whether it's in the flat or in the hook curls or, cover 3 zones or covering or running back out in space, for me personally, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I think that's a win. If I have Micah Parsons covering Dalvin Cook out there in the flat away from Kirk Cousins, I'll take that all day. And if you go back to week 1 when he played middle linebacker versus the Bucs, Tom Brady was not rattled at all, and he didn't have that same Micah Parsons impact versus when we saw him week 2, and he was chasing after Justin Herbert. So I'm personally a fan of moving Micah Parsons back because it remains to be unseen. And a lot of people assume DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be back next week. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're not going to see DeMarcus Lawrence until probably December. And at that case, we have a lot of quality quarterbacks that we are about to face. I mean, you have Matt Ryan, you have Derek Carr, you have Patrick Mahomes. So pressure is going to be extremely important. Now, I know there is a cluster of talent at the edge rusher position. But like I said, Micah Parsons is a completely different dynamic coming off that edge. And personally, I like to see him, coming off the edge. And then when DeMarcus Lawrence comes back, maybe DeMarcus Lawrence has to go through some Lyle Collins type of treatment where he has to earn his spot back. Like,
Right, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. You've been pretty loud about that on Twitter. A lot of people disagree, and some people agree with you there. How do you feel they're handling that situation? I mean, do you think they're handling it right, or is this kind of they just don't want to come out and say, "Hey, a position is being taken here"?
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot really put my hands on it, whether it's a money situation, whether there's a doghouse situation, but there is no chance in hell that anyone can come to me and tell me Terrence Steele is a better right tackle than Lyle Collins. Like it doesn't even make it doesn't. I just imagine putting your lips together to say that. So I feel like right now, if you want to just have your starting right tackle back, put him back at right tackle. So I know a lot of people are anti Connor Williams, but what people have to understand is this season, 2021, Connor Williams is having his best season as a Dallas Cowboy. And so I don't understand that mindset of wanting to get rid of Connor Williams. If anything needs to be addressed, it needs to be our center position, right? But as far as that right tackle position, you put our all-pro, our Pro Bowl caliber right tackle right back at his spot and let him do what he does best. Because when Lyle Collins is playing right tackle, he's top 10, top 5 right tackles in the league. Why would you adjust that? And I know that Stephen Jones came out and said, oh, no, Lyle Collins isn't playing left guard. So there's a lot of confusion when it comes to this situation. I really can't put my hands on it. But like I said, Dak.
It's definitely a good problem to have, though, right? I mean, now one thing we do want to have is depth in that offensive line. So I think a lot of us are jumping the gun also by criticizing what they are doing, because at the end of the day, having depth and being able to move those positions around is 100% helpful, right? And then you look at our left tackle with Tyron Smith. I mean, he's like a walking glass, right? At any moment, that thing might break. So it's kind of fingers crossed. I think right now it's not a bad thing to be shuffling people and then making it competitive.
Let's switch it, Cowboys fans, right? Tyron Smith goes out for 5 games with some ailment, right? Okay. Ty Nsekhe comes in and he plays decent, not dynamic. He's not dominating. Okay, now Tyron Smith is eligible to come back. Would you be saying, no, we got to keep Ty Nsekhe out there? Would the Cowboys be saying, no, we got to keep Ty Nsekhe out there? They would be like, oh, wait, we got Tyron Smith back, our starting all-pro left tackle. He's right back in the lineup. It's the same mindset when it comes to Lyle Collins, which makes me believe there's something behind the scenes going on with Lyle that the Cowboys just aren't happy with him. Maybe it was the suspension situation. Maybe there's something else. But there's no way from a talent perspective, from a continuity perspective, because I know Mike McCarthy said that continuity, that doesn't make sense because Lyle Collins started week 1 and played lights out. Connor McGovern played right guard week 1 and played lights out. Now, you wouldn't say because of continuity of the offensive line, we're going to keep Zach Martin behind. Like, no, you are going to get your best talent out there on the field and let that happen. But what Cowboys fans really have to watch for today, if Dak Prescott is not out there, all right, let's see if Terrence Steele is really cut from that cloth, or is it just really Dak getting the ball out of his hands quickly? It's why he hasn't been pressured or been giving up much sacks. And so it remains to be unseen. But me personally, Lyle's the starting right tackle, and we just get back to playing football because let's see for one game, what does our starting offensive line look like in Dallas? I mean, I think we want to see just for one game because we haven't all season. So.
Yeah, that's a good perspective, man. I like the way you broke that down there. Well, just give me a prediction here with Dak, Dallas.
Okay. So with Dak, I had the Cowboys winning 31-28.
31-28 without Dak.
28. Without Dak, I didn't want to see it, man. I had the Cowboys losing without Dak 28-17.
28-17.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 31-24 with Dak.
Okay.
And without 27-20. I think I'm being hopeful though, right? Because I don't know that our offense is really going to be moving. Because if they shut down the run there, I don't like I feel like I can complete a pass better than the rush there.
And that's what Cowboys fans are going to understand. Like Tucker being so negative, you're being so negative. Last year, go back and check the files. The same type of year when we played versus the Vikings, right? And as bad as our season was going, I was beating on my chest. Like I did a morning show versus the Vikings guy. And I was like, we are going to beat the Vikings because I had Andy Dalton. But I was like, bro, you take away Dak and give me Cooper Rush. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how am I supposed to get up for Cooper Rush because I've seen absolutely nothing out of him. Now, I know that Garrett Gilbert came in and he played decent versus the Steelers last year. And I know Ben DiNucci had the Eagles on their heels, but we didn't win those games. So it's like, as exciting as it was, we did not win those games. And so I have zero faith in Cooper Rush that he's going to go get it done. Maybe he'll come back and eat crow and we'll be like, oh man, Cooper Rush did it, you know? But honestly, I don't even want to see it, man. Like, just give me a 65% Dak Prescott out there versus Cooper Rush. I'll take that because at least you have the threat of just in case, right? Because it's his calf, it's not his arm, right? So he can still throw a little bit, and that because when I ran the film on the Vikings, they play a lot of too high safeties, right? And so I expect this to be a big, smash and dash as we're calling them now, right? With Zeke and Pollard type game. But if you take Dak out of there, they're going to move all up in the box, right? All right, one-on-one coverage, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. Let's see if this guy who's never played in these bright lights, coming in his first NFL start on primetime football, can make these throws in these windows and really beat us. And if he does, hats off. But Zeke, Pollard, y'all not beating us. And so, it remains to be unseen, man. So let's hope. Hopefully Dak gets out there. The calf holds up. He does his little thing out there. They're like, okay, he's good. He's going to play, and that'll definitely change how I feel about this game, but it remains to be unseen, man. We got a long way to go to 7 o'clock.
For sure. I know you said you didn't really follow other teams. You're pretty deep in Cowboys, which is why you have your Cowboys only, right?
Right.
But let me ask you here real quick with San Francisco and that dumpster fire that's happening right now with Jimmy G and Trey Lance, them not really knowing who's their starting quarterback and all that. How do you feel that's going to play out? Do you think Shanahan's going to get fired? He's on the hot seat, or they're going to let him play out Trey Lance there?
I think they're going to have to go with Trey Lance, man, because you spent the draft capital on him. Like, that's just part of the business. So I think ultimately someone is going to get to Shanahan and be like, all right, bro, like, you drafted Trey Lance. Like, it's time to move on and start building for the future. I feel like they've seen what things look like with Jimmy G. And Jimmy G, he's not that. I mean, he just kind of had the Brady-esque type of, he played for the Patriots. He kind of came from the Patriots. He was around Tom Brady. And so that was kind of his stamp of approval, kind of like Matt Castle had years ago. And so, but he is not that guy that's really going to get you to the level where the 49ers wants to go. So if they want to go to the next level, it's going to be through Trey Lance. And so I'm more of the approach, rip the Band-Aid off and go for it and move towards Trey Lance. And I think it's going to open up more for the 49ers. But you got to think quick, man, because holding out and making these decisions, they'll fire your coach and get a new quarterback in there that works with Trey Lance perfectly fine, and you'll be sitting on the outside.
What's crazy is Shanahan, for as good as a coach as everyone says he has a losing record outside of that Super Bowl run that they made. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out going on to next year. I do agree with you though. I do think they got to do Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the leagues eventually adapt, man. So it's like they were running the ball with their 3-headed monsters that they had running back, and it was all cute. And it was like, all right, we figured that out. So what else do you have? And it's like, I ain't got nothing else.
I think San Francisco shot themselves in the foot whenever with Triple G. I'm sorry, with Jimmy G playing so well there at the beginning and before he got hurt, they should have started looking at trading offers right there whenever he was hot. His value was up, the stock was up. At this point, I mean, what are you going to give up? A 5th round, 6th round pick? Because Jimmy G's not worth much, and that contract doesn't help either.
Right.
So let me ask you some rapid questions real quick, and then we'll call it a show, man. Cool, so man. On today, would you rather have Big Ben or Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield.
You want to elaborate on that, or?
I just think that Big Ben is over the hill, and I just think that the Steelers are well. Actually, let me take that back because he's starting on my fantasy team because my team is the injury reserves, man. Because I have 5 of my first picks are now in the injury reserve, so I'm rolling with Big Ben today. But from a player's perspective, I think Baker Mayfield gives you the much more upside at the quarterback position than Big Ben can offer you at this point. I just think the Steelers are just kind of figuring out how they move on from him. I mean, hell, the Steelers got so many backup quarterbacks. They should just give us one, but, they're holding on.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you on that. I do think Baker, too. Like I've been saying all year, man, I think Baker, we're not asking you to do much. As if you're a Browns fan, they're not asking you to do much. All you got to do is complete 4 or 5 good passes and allow Kareem Hunt. Well, Kareem Hunt's out, but Nick Chubb to do his thing and go from there. But Cleveland's got to figure out that Odell Beckham shit. The guy's talented. I don't understand how it's so hard to get him the ball.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know that Odell isn't what we saw in New York, but just like you said, man, he's still talented. He's got to get the ball in his hands, and that comes down to scheme. And it comes down to coaching. But you know,
You know
people
what I
don't
was thinking
understand that
about?
there's politics though behind the scenes that, like I said, a lot of fans, analysts, media, we don't have access to. And so, granted, we know the personality of Odell, but they might just be like, you know what, we're gonna do this without you. You know, they still got other wide receivers out there that's just as capable. So it's like, and they're very run heavy. So
Yeah, and just to throw this out there, Stefanski did have an elite wide receiver back in Minnesota with Diggs,
mm-hmm.
and then we saw what happened there. Diggs requested a trade to get out,
Mm-hmm.
and he did get out. So now I feel like is it just Stefanski's system
Probably,
that doesn't allow them to have I guess a loud voice in the locker room at the wide receiver position?
Yeah,
that's it. Just throwing that out there. That might
a lot
be
of
the
coaches
problem.
don't like that, man. Like, you know, because like I said, you're dealing with egos. Coaches have egos, players have egos, and you know, you're calling plays, but this guy might be saying something. It's like going back to that Lyle situation. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. If Lyle may have said something to Mike McCarthy, like, man, you know. But
what do you think he was on?
I would.
What do you think it was? PDs, pot.
It was. I think it was weed. I think it was, you know, pot, because I think that he was in the protocol due to the previous CBA rules, and so it's something like it extended, and so that's why Lyle is on for drug testing as extensive as he was due to a drug that's been ruled clear in the NFL. So that was my whole frustration, but I think it was for that. But you know, it's a weird situation, but Lyle does have some growing up to do, but he's talented. You know, like we know as Cowboys, we are talented. And like I said, if you want to start talking about, you know, we're going to do things the right way and players are going to be held accountable. Well, if my memory serves me correct, I think DeMonte KZ was pulled over from a little drinking and swerving, but is he going to be out there on tonight starting? You know, so it's like, you got to keep that same energy. You know, so you know who knows.
Hey, with that being said, I am interested to see what Malik Hooker, because Malik Hooker is going to get a lot of reps today. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. I mean, I've been barking about us getting a dog there at the safety position, because that's definitely something we've been lacking. I mean, you can see in the previous years before, every safety that we had just can't make a goddamn tackle there at the line.
Well, I have a fix for that, man. So actually, I live in Kansas City, and so if you follow Chiefs closely, there's been some turmoil between their safety and the fans, right? And so the Chiefs need offensive line to protect their billion-dollar investment in Pat Mahomes. And so, you know, I can just take one. You want to guard? Do you want to tackle? And it's coming to my. Let's come in. Let's talk a little bit, and we can give me Tyrann Mathieu. I'll give you a tackle. I can give you a guard, and we can call it good from there. Actually, I'll toss in another safety for you. How about that? And so, you know,
hey, I would not mind that at all. I think that's exactly what we are missing. Is it, like I said, we need a dog back there. Someone that's going to come to the line and smack somebody right in the mouth.
He give me DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, and Tyrann Mathieu. Now I'm rubbing my hands.
Feeling good. Feeling good. Yeah. Let's go two more here. Let's go Mac Jones or Sam Darnold today. Mac Jones is Sam Darnold's going against Atlanta. Atlanta's at home, or you got Mac Jones playing the Chargers. Who do you trust more going into that?
Well, I think we kind of broke Sam Darnold, man. I feel like Sam Darnold was off to a great start. You know, he had a few runs against us, and all of a sudden something just broke with Sam Darnold. So he hasn't been playing his best football since that Cowboys game. So seeing what Mac Jones has been doing, you know, since playing us or whatnot, I feel like I trust Mac Jones, who's also on my fantasy team, a little bit more than I trust Sam Darnold at this point, because he does have that Belichick factor. And, you know, to be completely transparent, Mac Jones was one of the players that I did my draft analyst. I was kind of, I don't see what's special about him, but he's in the right system and being molded the right way. And so I feel like if I had to trust a player right now, it would be Mac Jones over Sam Darnold, because I can't figure out what's going on with Sam Darnold, man. He's seeing ghost again, man.
Atlanta's defense does give up a lot of points, so this is definitely a chance for Sam Darnold to really regain his confidence back. But I will agree with you here. I do think you go with Mac Jones. Slowly on the fact that the Chargers have the worst run defense in the league. So you got to assume that the Patriots are going to pound that ball down. The play action is going to open up. And then we're going to see some pretty accurate throws from Mac Jones, who can sling the rock. So I'm going to go with them. That could be a potential upset too. I mean, the Chargers are wishy-washy, right? We really don't know what they are just yet. They look really good. They have an explosive offense, but they just keep giving up points, man.
Right.
They keep giving up points. Doesn't make sense. Last one here, Mahomes or Joey Burrow?
Ooh, Mahomes, man. And Mahomes. I feel like this is going to be the slump buster game for the Chiefs. Like I said, there's been a lot of controversy going with the Chiefs. My guy Mahomes has been looking miserable with his brother TikToking and all sorts of crap. I feel like playing against the Giants, whatever that stuff is, playing against the Giants is going to be the game that allows the Chiefs to actually get into a rhythm, because they should win that game handily. I'm actually going to that game tomorrow night. So I think that I trust Mahomes to get back. But Joe Burrow has been playing great, man. Jamar Chase is one of my favorite players in the draft, and so they have that LSU connection, been playing lights out. But I feel like a lot of people, Mahomes has been at the top of the mountain for so long, since he's pretty much entered the league, and he's showing some type of drawbacks. Everyone wants to poke at him, but sometimes you got to be careful poking that bear, man, because with this Kansas City offense, it's flammable, and they can catch fire at any times and start getting back into a momentum, because I think they have the Giants, Packers, Raiders, then us. And so one of those games can just spark morale and all right, we remember who we are, and look out, here comes Kansas City, man. So I trust Pat Mahomes over Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow's playing lights out as well.
This for me, I think Patrick Mahomes, this is a fill out game. This is a game to set up that confidence for them going forward. I think they need to try to slow the game down here purposely, because they're going to put up points against this Giants team. But I think they have to go in with the mindset that they're going to play this game slow and grimy and really pound the rock there on them. Patrick Mahomes is forcing it, right? That defense is awful over there. But we've seen shitty defenses, right?
Right. Yeah, we've seen the worst of it. Right.
Yeah, when you're giving up 30 points a game, it's hard to win. It's hard to win football. And for me, as a Cowboys fan, it's a little funny to see people poking at Patrick Mahomes, because Dallas fans went through it, and we were getting that same thing with Dak Prescott. Should he get paid? Should Dallas let him go? Are we going to franchise tag him? We should. He's not worth this much, that much. And then you see Patrick Mahomes going through the same thing, a $500 million quarterback. So in a sense, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
And see, the problem with Pat, man, and I called him this comparison on Twitter, when he was first a rookie, right? I kind of compare him to the Steph Curry of the NFL. When Steph Curry came out shooting threes down there for half court, it was like, we never seen this before. And then you had the phenomenon of Pat Mahomes doing no-look passes across his body and everything. So you see that phenomenon. So it's hard for Pat Mahomes to go back to just taking the underneath route, to taking the simple throw, because he's so accustomed of shooting the deep three. If you watch the Golden State game and Steph Curry is shooting threes, you're like, what's going on? And I feel like Pat has to break that mindset of just doing too much. But like you said, man, the defense is playing so bad where he feels like, all right, I'm just going to overcome it and get things done myself, because he's done that in the past, but things aren't working in his favor. So he has to simplify things, take the simple throws, find Kelsey, get Hill underneath, get them out in space and let them create, versus the no-look around the back pass and fumble, shuffle, all the stuff you're seeing with Pat Mahomes, man. So, but first he has to get rid of his brother, man.
He looks miserable, man. And I guess his ladies got some Twitter fingers going on there too. So
she shouts out to Britt, man. I met her a few times. She's really a great person, but online, she's just annoying as hell, man. You got a newborn baby, you got an annoying brother, you got an annoying spouse, no offensive line, defense won't help you. Oh, man,
$500 million, baby.
Right, $500 million, man. He might just go, play baseball.
Hey, man, well, enjoy football today. I appreciate you coming on. I'd love to have you on again. Hopefully next time my co-host does show up, so that way we can have a hell of a time there.
Tell them don't run, man, if they lose the Cooper Rush, man.
No, seriously. I don't know if he'll ever show up if he does lose the Cooper Rush, for sure. But I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks, man.
This is Jay Tuck 151. Follow him on Twitter. Also check him out on YouTube, Cowboy Fans Only. And let's go Cowboys, baby.
Let's go Cowboys. Let's go. Let's go Dak. Peace.